Quiet on the set. Rotate.
Spade.
Action.
General Dynamics Space Systems Division Whitepaper. Focus on FOE. With our host, Larry Foss, Chief of Quality Assurance, Systems Engineering of Space Systems Division.
Welcome to our third in a series of video white papers. I'm anchoring this production here at our Harlingen facility in Texas. Our first two presentations were entitled Focus on FOD. During those presentations, we discussed the seriousness of foreign object damage and the reason for the Foreign Object Elimination program. Obviously, if we strive to totally eliminate foreign objects from our workplace, we'll create launch vehicles that are foreign object free. Total foreign object elimination, then, is our standard, and we must be dedicated to this end. In this white paper, we'll share some news items, tour our Harlingen facility, and take you to Seattle for a National Aerospace FOD conference. We'll also visit one of our smaller suppliers, and as always, conclude our show with a VIP guest. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. Atlas-Centaur 105, the first Atlas IIA, was successfully launched at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on June 9th, sending an Intelsat-K international broadcast satellite into orbit. The Atlas-Centaur 105 launch represents the first time Space Systems has launched 5 vehicles within a 6-month period. However, on August 22nd, Cape Canaveral Air Force Station's Range Safety Officer terminated the launch of Atlas-Centaur 71, carrying the Hughes Galaxy Communications satellite. At 4 minutes and 49 seconds into the flight, telemetry indicated that one of Centaur's 2 RL-10 engines failed to sustain full thrust, necessitating termination of the mission. Remarkably, the symptoms appear to be similar to those experienced in the Atlas-Centaur 70 incident. A failure investigation team has gone to work in cooperation with an independent failure review oversight board to identify and resolve this continuing problem. Let me say that to date there is no indication that the cause of this second failure was FOD, but neither can it be ruled out. Whatever the cause, our efforts toward total foreign object elimination have benefited our customers and ourselves by establishing new standards. This will continue to pay dividends as long as each of us who works with the product in any way continues a personal commitment to successful launches. Our charter, then, is to continue in all of our efforts to make Space Systems launch vehicles world-class in reliability and quality. As I mentioned, this is our Harlingen facility, where jettisonable components and adapters are built for the Atlas and Centaur. The purpose of a jettisonable is to house engines, create a streamlined exterior, or protect the payload during liftoff. When they are no longer needed for the mission, they are blown off or jettisoned and fall back to Earth. The booster thrust section of the booster half stage is a massive structure built to house 2 Rocketdyne MA5 engines and related hardware. The MA5 booster sustainer engine also fits in this large assembly between the 2 half-stage engines. The interstage adapter is essentially a large cylinder to create an aerodynamic seal between lower stage Atlas and upper stage Centaur. Harlingen makes a variety of payload adapters, the unit between Centaur and the payload. The payload fairings are huge structures consisting of 2 180-degree halves which protect the payload during the stresses of liftoff. Insulation on the inside protects the delicate payload from acoustic damage. Installation of this acoustic material takes place in Harlingen's new special cleanliness area. And the fairing cone is covered with a cork heat shield that keeps the payload fairing cool as it flies through the heavy atmosphere. As I stated at the top of our show, foreign object elimination must be our standard. An area that needs more of our attention is in the handling, storage, and shipping of parts. Every part must be carefully controlled so it not be susceptible to the introduction of foreign objects from manufacturing through the installation on the launch vehicle. Handling and packaging specifications are explicit on how these parts are to be maintained. Of course, these specifications are also imposed on our suppliers to ensure delivery of foreign object-free parts to our receiving inspection points. Packages are opened with care and the contents removed one piece at a time. Filler paper is checked before being discarded in a marked container. Then the parts are checked by number to be sure that each is there and undamaged. The parts are replaced in the same container until distribution to the storage area. Finally, the items are logged into the computer database as having been received. Elsewhere, small parts are placed in plastic bags for protection prior to storage or issue. Heat sealing is a simple way to eliminate staples, which are also prone to becoming foreign objects. It goes without saying that workstations where parts and components are wrapped for storage must be scrupulously clean and tidy. Storage areas must be kept clutter-free. Many smaller components lend themselves to storage in plastic boxes with lids and should be bagged in plastic, sometimes double-bagged. A computer-based parts list makes kitting a simple and error-free task. Here at Harlingen, foreign object elimination is a positive attitude and an ongoing process in the task of building quality products. Harlingen has high standards of cleanliness, not only in handling and packaging, but throughout their plant.
Product discipline monitor goes around his work center, checking out the tools, the tables, the floor, trash cans, and anything and everything. It's part of cleaning up, keeping it clean.
That's why the mechanics have to be very careful that they're always cleaning after they do a job or in between the jobs. They got to make sure everything's clean.
If we do our job, everybody does their job, and we clean as we go, and it's a much better facility for everybody.
I don't think there's anybody here that don't really enjoy what they're doing, because they're here every day doing a good job.
The system we got now is not 100% perfect, but hey, we're trying harder. Okay.
FOD awareness is much broader than the world of launch vehicles at General Dynamics. Other aerospace companies and the military are so interested in foreign object elimination that they have organized to share mutual concerns. I'm in Seattle to cover the 13th National Aerospace FOD Conference. Topics being discussed by the more than 200 participants range from quality control to tool control.
Whenever we hear a report that there's been an issue with an aircraft from the family, if you will, the first things we're always examining is, was it one of ours? Was it one that we worked? Was it one that we could have been responsible for? Did we do everything we could to prevent FOD? Were we in any way contributing to what happened?
My personal reaction, let's take AC-70, was disappointment, to say the least. We have a very proud program, long tradition, and it was disappointing to see a failure occur in that stage. Further disappointment is that we all know that it could have been prevented through a good FOD program. I think combining those two, we all look forward to pressing on and continuing business successfully as we have in the past.
Where is it going? I think it's going like everything else in this country. I think it's giving people a sense of that we have to improve the quality of our product, because FOD is just not eliminating the extra rivets and what have you in a vehicle or in an engine, but it's also of looking at how we do things. What's our process? It also gets all of our people involved in it.
FOD is everyone's responsibility. We must take it seriously. Lives are at stake. Huge dollars are at stake. Jobs are at stake.
This booster thrust section will be fitted with 2 MA5 engines and will lift Atlas off the pad and quite a few miles downrange. When it comes time for separation from the main booster tank, a series of 10 of these first stage separation latches fire all at once, separating the booster thrust section from the main tank and thrusting it along the 2 jettison tracks until it clears the vehicle. These separation latches are small, but they are obviously precision built. They have to work perfectly the only time they're called upon to do their job, or we lose our payload. These components are supplied by GEB Industries of Torrance, California. With just 18 employees working around the clock, this small company has invested a considerable amount of capital and tools to meet the special needs of large corporations such as General Dynamics. Why do you feel that General Dynamics has chosen GEB to build this particular part?
Well, we've been paying very close attention to our quality and our delivery. We maintain a clean and orderly and conscientious shop, and our inspection department is very concerned that parts are built correctly.
GEB also manufactures a variety of support strut assemblies for Atlas and Centaur. Simple in design and easy to manufacture, support strut assemblies are used to brace such items as gaseous helium bottles and related hardware. GEB Industries is but one of hundreds of small suppliers who provide critical components for our launch vehicles. On May 20, the American Mobile Satellite Corporation announced the selection of Atlas IIA as the launch vehicle for their satellite. This is the fourth such contract won by Space Systems Division this year. I'm teleconferencing with Mr. Brian Pemberton, the president of AMSC. Mr. Pemberton, what is this contract worth to General Dynamics?
Well, the contract is valued at $70 million, and we are very excited about the opportunity of working with General Dynamics. This is our first satellite that we'll be launching, and we could not think of a team that we'd be more pleased to be associated with.
And what services will you be providing?
Once we've been placed into geosynchronous orbit, AMSC satellite will provide a complete range of mobile communications, including aeronautical, maritime, fixed site, and most importantly, complementary to the terrestrial cellular network, which will be pervasive throughout the United States.
And what services do you expect from us?
General Dynamics Commercial Launch Division will be providing a complete and comprehensive package of both launch and insurance services.
What does this contract mean to AMSC?
What it means to AMSC is we have completed our associations with the top companies in each of their fields, allowing us to bring this complete mobile communications package to all of America.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Pemberton. The American Mobile Satellite Corporation's first launch is expected in 1994. Some of our customers, such as AMSC or Intelsat, only need communication satellites in Earth orbit. For the military or the government, satellites may be used for scientific exploration, navigation, or the gathering of information. For this aspect, we're here to meet the Commander of Air Force Space and Missile Systems Center, Lieutenant General Edward P. Berry, Jr.
My mandate is to basically deliver operational hardware. My definition of operational hardware is that we can deliver boosters, satellites, the same way as we deliver aircraft to an operational commander. Today, what we want to do is be able to build that hardware, deliver that to our operator, which is the Air Force Space Command, with a checklist so that he can go out and run that system through, first time through, checklist type of thought process, and a successful launch.
General, this interview is a segment of a Foreign Object Elimination video. What thoughts would you like to leave with our launch team?
I like to really concentrate on not so much the bits and pieces and rags and things that I think are really well aware of by the workers, and really talk about what I'm interested in, the quality, and that's the ability of the workers and management as a team to deliver a quality product first time to us or to our operational commanders or whoever the user or customer may be, whether it's military or commercial. And that's what quality is about, having pride in your motivation to do it right the very first time. And then from a company's point of view, what I'm looking for is that they have created the environment that the workers want to do it right the first time, and that the communications is there so that when the worker has a better idea, that's how he might be able to do this job better, change the process. So what I'm trying to get is the company to create an environment of trust and teamwork. That's the leadership. Because if you have an environment of trust and teamwork, then the workers know they can go to the leadership and basically say, hey, I got a better idea. And those ideas are what we call continuous improvement. And continuous improvement will give us a far better quality.
Here in Harlingen, we saw an example of a foreign object-free workplace and met some employees who are really committed to the elimination of foreign objects. It's all rather exciting because foreign object elimination is attainable, not just here at Harlingen, but throughout our division. With the Foreign Object Elimination Manual as our guide, unique efforts at each site to meet the challenge, and individual commitment in every group, fraud-free launches will be more than a fantasy, but a fact.